So, oh, here we go. We are live. Welcome to the Sports Deck podcast. Woo,
Hello.
woo. On this hot and sunny, hot day.
Yeah, it might be for you, but I'm currently in Vladivostok and it's freezing here.
Well,
No, I'm
okay,
not.
I've got to ask,
I'm
where's
sitting in the
Blood of
kitchen and it's
Lostock?
very hot. I'm not asking you anything geographical because, as far as you know, Milton Keynes exists and that's about it.
Where is it? Is that like Iceland or Sweden or
Vladivostok? No,
yeah?
Raski.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be a bit
Rush.
colder. Bit colder there.
No, it's absolutely boiling hot in Russia at the moment. I think it's
Is
like it
it?
is here, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
This is the
okay.
hot time. Yeah, when it's cold, it's freezing, but not today. It's only 33 at the moment, so I'm sitting here
So
schwitzing and I'm in my pants and I don't care.
so you're actually hotter than me because it's saying 30 over here.
Yeah, but if anyone's with me who sits near me, this always, the sizzle that they get from me, it's hot, yeah.
It
Anyway,
radiates.
it's lovely to see that you're looking healthy today after the last few weeks.
Oh, thank you. For the first time ever, I tested positive for COVID. I've never ever tested positive for COVID before.
I thought you were going to say tested positive for cocaine. Sorry.
That might
Sorry.
have been better than what's been happening to me the last blooming week.
Sorry, I'm
Although
just being facetious. I'm really glad you're on the mend because obviously I'm concerned when you
Yeah,
said I'm
so
not.
I lost my voice. I was very poorly, and I literally have no energy right now. I'm so drained, so drained.
Well, it is lovely to see you nearly gorgeous, just a little bit gorgeous today, rather than the state you were in a couple of weeks ago. Do you like my new cock? What?
No comment. Can I say
It's
that?
behind me. It's behind me.
Yeah,
When we have
are you-
a show in the evening, I'll have it on so it's light, it's flashing.
I was going to say you
It'll
have
have
to turn it on.
No, no, you can't see in this light. I put strobe
Oh,
lighting on, so anybody actually watches the show will be so mesmerised they'll go around afterwards with their eyeballs going backwards and forwards.
they'll be mesmerised by your flashing cock.
Yeah, won't be the first time. Anyway, we'll get off that subject before you get me reported to the police again.
Well,
Um,
before we get banned, yes, exactly.
so
So,
now you're better.
sports, lots to
Yes,
talk
did you
about.
watch any sport? Because obviously, bearing in mind that you're pretty lazy most of the time, were you just lying on your sofa watching sport while I was working?
I actually did watch a lot of the Olympics because obviously I was at home. So I had a lot of the games on and I was watching different sports on the Olympics I wouldn't normally watch and things like that. So it was very interesting. Um,
Was it?
one of the new
What did you watch?
sports, okay, one of the new sports in the Olympics this year or this time round was breakdancing.
That's not a sport.
It is.
No,
According to the
really.
Olympics, it is.
Yeah, I think the people who make that sport, they should put those pins there, like little knives that pop up, like the water ones do for the kids. And then
Well,
somebody does a little break dance, and a knife pops up and stabs him because it's a load of crap. That's not a
it,
sport.
I mean, it was okay. There are other sports out there that should be in there, like darts and stuff like that. To me, that is a sport that should be
Okay,
in the
question:
Olympics.
is darts a
Yeah,
sport or a pastime? Because when I was a little boy, it was a pastime.
it's a sport. They have
I
like
agree. I
championships
agree.
and cups and
Mhm.
all sorts of stuff. So it's a sport.
So how's breakdancing a sport? It's a dance. It's a way of looking
That's
stupid
what
on the
I
dance floor.
said. Yeah, that's
Mm.
what I said. So
All
it
that
reached
BMX
even more.
rubbish. That's not a sport.
No, it's not something I would have, paid to watch at the Olympics, put it
Mhm.
that way. So anyway, they had some more controversy with regards to the breakdancing in that the Australian
Okay.
breakdance dancer, everybody
Yeah.
has to go onto YouTube and find the dance routine of the female Australian breakdancer. It looks like me when I'm drunk.
Well, what she was falling over a lot.
Like it was not even dancing, it was like, oh, my dogs could have done better than her. Anyway, she scored 0 points, so that reflected it in the judges.
Oh,
But
I thought you were going to tell me she's won a medal.
no, she scores 0, but honestly, you have to go and YouTube it. It's hysterical. So I think to be fair, it just takes the mick as to why breakdancing is in there as a sport.
Well,
It's
that's good.
ridiculous.
That's good from the Aussies because they're quite good at taking the Mickey. So
Yeah.
I quite like that.
So so that was breakdancing. Very interesting to see it in there, but yeah, not my cup of tea for an Olympic sport. Um, what else did I watch? I watched archery and I watched the shooting. Very
Yeah, they're
interesting.
very talented. Those people.
Very, very interesting. I didn't know you did it as like a team sport, especially the shooting. And you have to
Yeah.
like, yeah, I didn't even know that. So you do it as a team sport, or you can do it individually as well. And you have to take all your shots as a team within a certain amount of time. So
Mm.
it was quite interesting to see that one.
Yeah. This has obviously been on when I was at work, but okay. Um, okay. What else did you watch? I'm quite intrigued because I'm not going to lie. I saw 7 minutes of the Olympics.
Oh, okay. What else did I watch?
I didn't see a race of any sort,
It-
and I saw. This is no word of a lie. Katarina Johnson Thompson crossed the line. That was the last step she made, and it says it needs to be 8 seconds, and that was it. And as the only thing I saw, I did not see anything else.
Yeah, she
And
got silver.
so,
She did very, very well because she's been battling lots of injuries and things like that. So she got a
yeah,
silver.
she did.
Um, she had to
Yeah.
win that race, that last race, by 8 seconds to get the gold,
Mm.
which is a massive, thing to try and
Yeah,
achieve.
it's a long way. It's a long way in a short race. It's not
Yeah,
like the
it
men's the
is.
decathlon. They
No,
got 1,500
it's,
meters. You can win by 8 seconds. Then.
yeah. But so she did very, very well. I think they said overall, England's haul of medals was lower than the last time. And I think that
I
could be
read it was the
because we
same as it was in 2012.
could
They
be,
got
but it could
65, but they didn't get as many golds. But
didn't
there's
get
a
as many
reason for that.
goals.
But there's a reason for that because I think when you're at home, I think you're naturally pushed a fraction more. There's that extra 1% that the
Yeah,
crowd gives you. That maybe one. I know you hear it in professional sport all the time. That 1% makes such a difference.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
minimal amount, but it's the difference in a game of football between just onside, just offside, just over the line, just on the line. It's so minimal. But when they were in England, of course, one of them does well. They get a goal, then the crowd lifts up for the next person, and it's like a wave. It's very
yeah.
hard to stop.
It
And I think
is.
that's what you get when you're at home in the Olympics. So
And
I'm
they
not
didn't win
critical if
as
they got.
many medals in the cycling. They didn't win as many medals in the rowing as they have done in the past. So that had a bit of an effect on the total.
Yeah,
But
but look at
overall,
the last
they did
20
well.
years. The cyclists and rowers we've had, they've been outstanding, the best in the world.
Yeah.
You can't continuously, you know, you can't find another Chris Hoy 5 minutes later, or a
No,
Steve
no,
Redgrave, or a Matthew Pitt. They don't come along every 5 minutes, and they certainly
no,
don't come along together very often. So when you do get
no.
them, you have to treasure it.
Yeah.
But
And again,
no,
in the swimming, they didn't
bad.
do as well as they have done in the past either. So they've lost medals in those kind of categories where they used to be
Mm,
really dominant. And now, just like you say, these people go, new people come in. Takes some time to get to a sort of a really world class level.
mm. Yeah, and we haven't got. I don't think we have the same. We used to have a lot of athletes who stood out in their fields, and I don't know we have these days. But
No,
as I say, I didn't see it. I know it's. I like the Olympics. I'll be honest with you. I like the fact that you've got some of the events are really, really brilliant. I mean, I'm not a particular lover of any female sport. I think most of them are pretty boring for me to watch, if I'm totally honest. But no, I'm being honest. But when the Olympics are on, you want to see the girls do well in the sprints and the relays because they're normally quite good. And I like to see them do well. And I'm pleased for Katarina Johnson Thompson that she got a silver, because I think she's put a lot of effort in over the last sort
She
of
has,
12
yeah.
years. And when I watch the sports, I know that they have the cricket on, and I know women's cricket's improved, and I know women's football's improved. But honestly, the best women's team in the world wouldn't compete with a men's team who's playing in the fifth level of football. It just wouldn't compete with
Mm.
them. And
So,
when
talking
I
of
hear they've got the
male
same
and
amount of money,
women,
it makes me laugh. Huh?
talking of men and women in the same sport, here's one for you. So, in the women's boxing, massive controversy, right? Because
Yeah.
there was a competitor from Algeria who, in the world championships previously, was banned because that person had a male chromosome. So, was banned of taking
Well,
part
one,
in the. Uh,
one.
yeah, so he's got a male chromosome, so he's not technically female. So he got banned for playing in the female boxing world championships, but they accepted him in the female category of boxing in the Olympics.
But you
And
just
he,
referred to him as a him, so he must be a her.
well, he's not a him because he's got an X chromosome. He's a male. Biologically, he's a male.
Right. Okay. So I read something about somebody got hit on the nose or something, and it hurt a lot more than normal. um, look,
Yeah. So, well, yeah, he ended
we-
up. I am going to call him because it, he's biologically a male.
okay.
So, so he was
This
fighting
particular
Fina.
person is not the only person on who's got that kind of makeup in their chemistry. They're not the only
Well,
person on the planet who may have been born a woman but has some sort of male attributes. I imagine. I'm not talking about penis. I'm talking about in their makeup,
chromosomes.
in their chromosomes,
No,
or however they build up
anybody
within the.
with an X chromosome is a male biologically.
Yeah. Well, okay, but if we've got 23 pairs of chromosomes, if I've got 22 that are male and one's female, what does that make me?
No, 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 no.
A
So
bit
your
girly.
chromosomes, male or female, it's two Ys in all your DNA structure, right? It's two Ys for a female and XY for a male.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter how many.
So
That
she got
is your.
22 YYs and one XY, yeah?
No, his is all XY. He is a
But you
male.
said it was just one.
You know what I mean.
No,
You're
but you
you're
said that this person's got one. So the other
okay.
22 pairs are all female,
So
yeah?
you have one chromosome. So you have one DNA structure that identifies your sex, just like you
Yeah.
have one DNA structure that identifies your hair color or your.
Yeah, I get that. But
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. So
23
his
pairs of
DNA structure.
chromosomes.
Yeah. So he's
But,
got one X,
right.
one Y. So
Yeah,
that's a
so the other
male.
22 pairs are blooming YY, yeah?
XY. No, they're all XY.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the rules are on this, because I think that this isn't the first person. I know there's other people who've been in sports and they said, well, no, that one's a bloke and this one's not. And
Yeah. So do you remember there used to be that runner from one of the African countries
yeah,
who
I know.
looked.
I knew you were going to say that.
Do you remember? But for that athlete, it was a testosterone issue. She was biologically female, but she had very, very high naturally testosterone levels. For this
Right.
boxer, it's not a testosterone issue, it's a chromosome thing.
Yeah, but that
All
might be a
males,
default.
it's not a default. He's a man.
Look, the world we live in nowadays, I'm not sure half the time who is a man and who isn't anymore. I mean, you got half these people wandering around. Oh,
Well, he's
I
a
can't
man
tell
and he
you.
was allowed to
Don't
compete.
get me started on people's sexuality. You know how bad I think it is. I think if you've got a pair of nuts, you're a geezer, and if you haven't, you're a bird. That's how I've always said it. And if
So
you
he
if
is a
you got to go
male
all over the world
biologically.
chemically, oh,
He was allowed to compete in the female boxing bouts and he won the gold medal.
Okay, so why
And
didn't they ask
now,
this person in reverse? If they'd have asked them to reverse into a bay, we'd have known whether they were male or female.
if they'd have what done what?
That's reverse into a bay because we know women can't reverse, so we'd have known whether they were male or female.
Yeah, yeah. So he
You
is
know
now
that, don't you?
suing. He is now suing the Olympic Committee
Who is
for this boxer.
the winner?
Yeah, yeah.
Is suing. Okay. This is
For
why I
the
don't get involved with all this stuff because it's absolute twaddle. As was my so-called joke about women reversing. That all they had to do was put them in the car park. Yeah, but okay.
this
So
this is
look,
terrible. He's suing the Olympic Committee because
but
of the
they let him box.
bullying he received online.
But that's not their fault.
I know, I know.
People get bullied, and I've been bullied. So people get bullied through harassment, not necessarily because for it. You watch it. You watch a game of football, right? We watch football. We've got the Premier League starts this week. You get a player, especially if they're of colour. You get a player. He has an absolute shocker, and on the chats and God knows what, this person is absolutely whatever. Yeah, and you get multitudes, and especially some bad people writing on it, keyboard warriors, and they write all sort of racist things and really terrible harassment because somebody maybe misses an open goal. Yeah, but that's not the Premier League's fault, is it?
No.
Exactly. So it's, well, maybe this person who you said's a male's got a lot of. Oh no, I don't know. Look, if you're a male, you're supposed to be tough. So maybe they're
Well,
not a male then. Look, I
well.
don't know. I can't really comment on it. Frankly, I think if I'm totally honest with you, should have put them in the. Well, like, honestly, if I'm really going to
I know,
get
I know, I know. So it was very interesting on social media the last
right,
week because of this person. And
okay,
then we've got the Paralympics coming up.
all right, yeah, that's got to be soon, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a week or two, very, very soon.
Okay,
So that's coming up. So and that's going to be. I like
you
some of
can
the.
see the excitement I've got waiting for it. Yeah.
I quite like some of the Paralympics. The basketball
Again, I don't want to be
is
critical,
vicious.
sweetheart. I know it's fantastic that they can have these Olympics for what they call them, lesser bodied people now. I don't know what they bloody what's the technical term now for people? Is it disabled? I don't even know. Lesser bodied or something, less able bodied or something. I don't know
Less
what it is.
able-bodied, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Anyway, I think it's absolutely marvelous. But putting on the Olympics when you've just had a European football tournament and everyone's dying for Premier League to come on, it's like no one, most people lost interest. You know.
Well, they'll be starting roughly the same time. You'll have the football and the
Yeah.
Paralympics roughly the
No,
same time.
the cricket's on as well. The Test matches start again this week.
Okay,
So that was
okay.
another problem. The Test series with the West Indies was always so one-sided, and it was too easy.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've divulged as diverse as usual with us wherever we're going. So you enjoyed the Olympics while you had COVID. Some of
I
us are
did it.
working all the time or building,
eh,
so I didn't do it.
No, it was good because normally it's just crappy daytime TV. So I much preferred watching the Olympics and,
Are you telling me you don't like watching loose women?
I don't think I've ever watched it.
Well, I got asked about loose women when I was at the Bruce Springsteen concert. Now, I have to tell you, I don't watch the program, but there is a girl on it I quite like. But I only know that because my wife watches it sometimes and I pop home. But
No, I don't
I've
think I've
forgotten her
ever
name
watched
now.
it.
Andrea something she is.
No idea.
Uh, she's quite
Uh,
cute, but that's the only reason that would be it.
oh, okay. Yeah, no, don't know. So yeah, it's like all that like that auction game and doing up your house type stuff, and I can't be asked with all of that. So
Doing
um
up your house. That's what I've been doing.
yeah, but I don't want to watch it on TV. Thank you very
No,
much.
I've just on my right hand side here because I've got the window open. My next door neighbour and I, he's a terrific guy, even though he supports Arsenal. So we, I'm having a new shed done. So the base has all been done now, and the only thing left to do in the house is put the shed up, which should come in about 3 weeks' time. just in time for my birthday, I imagine. And that's not for you to go and buy me a present, by the way. That wasn't a plug. But that's the thing I'm waiting for. Then I can put everything away and empty out my garage a bit as well. So
Perfect.
yes, that's what I've been doing while you've been watching the Olympics.
The Olympics, yes,
That's
and
what my daughter called
educating
them when she
myself.
was a little girl. Olympics.
Olympics. It may as well have
Yeah.
been in some of the sports,
Well,
honestly.
she was born in the middle of the Olympics in 2008.
Oh,
So that was in Australia, wasn't it? In Sydney.
oh, okay, yeah. Was it? Don't know.
So, of course, any expectant mother and father, as you well know, um, the last couple of days are a little bit fraught with anxiety and, oh, for God's sake, is this baby ever bloody coming? And so Steph would wake up or not sleep or thump me in the ribs or whatever. And she said, "Oh, get up and watch this. Put the Olympics on. I'll go back to sleep. We'll be watching the rowing from about 1 in the morning till 6:30 in the morning." And then she
Oi,
said,
oi,
"Go on, off you
oi.
go, work." I
Blimey.
couldn't see out my eyes for about 2 weeks. I was that tired, but yeah. So she was born in the Olympics, and 2012 was fantastic, of course.
Yeah,
But if you ask me where they were
yeah.
after that, I'm going to really struggle to remember.
I can't
I'm not
remember.
even sure.
Well, the next one is in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's again. I don't know why. I know it's in Los Angeles. They were there in '84,
Yeah.
and they've been in Los Angeles. I think it was 1932. Might be wrong. It might have been St. Louis, but or St. Louis. But I think they've been in LA. This will be the third time, and I find it kind of strange that is there nowhere else in America?
Well, obviously not. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so that's where it's going next. So that was that.
So they've got the World Cup and the Olympics.
Surprise, surprise. Does that shock you?
No, nothing shocks me
No,
anymore. We've got a Labour
doesn't
government.
shock me.
They've been in power for 6 weeks. The country's on its knees already.
We're not going to go down the politics route, young man.
Young.
Um, so then a bit of basketball news from the
Oh
Breakers.
God, I knew there'd be some news about that. Go on then. We need to
Yeah,
know about this
so
broken what.
obviously there's recruitment stuff going on in the background. So our captain for last season, Jordan Spencer, has understandably left the club and has joined Newcastle Eagles in the BBL. So massive congratulations to him and absolutely well deserved. So that's really good.
That's a big jump, is it?
It's a big jump. It's a big, big jump. But to be fair, he is that level. So he deserves to play at
That's
that
fair enough.
level. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
So, rightfully so, he's chosen to move onwards and upwards, and we
Is he getting
wish him all the best.
Is he having elocution lessons?
Why?
They don't speak English in Newcastle.
Oh, well, yeah, you might get
Well,
some
yeah, money.
lessons.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, man.
Yeah,
You might get some lessons. So yeah, so that's good for him. And our new captain
yeah.
is going to be Blaine Freckleton, who
Who?
was just the one with all the big hair. Yeah, the one who looks like
What's his name?
Blaine
Oh,
Freckleton.
Blaine. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Blaine. Yeah, I'm really
Um,
sorry. But I was born in the '60s. We don't have daft names like that.
so he's the new captain for the Breakers, and I'm really pleased. To be fair.
I'm
Oh,
listening.
where's he gone?
No, I'm here. It's just that because I put my ice in my cold drink, it's made a puddle on the desk.
Oh,
So I'm now going to make the puddle over here. Well, I won't knock it over though.
okay.
Because it's hot in here. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here and I'm schwitzing. I kid you not.
Okay, well, we're not going to be long. We're not going to do a long show today, so
That's right. I enjoy knowing how you are because we've had a couple of shows lately. Obviously, one with Tony and which I'd like to know how many hits we had. By the way,
I'd have to go
but
back and have a look.
yeah, I obviously had it was a bit of a to and fro with me on that one was because obviously we're good mates. But we might get a couple of guests in. I think it's a bit difficult in August holidays and what have you, and
Yeah.
It's incredibly hot, and the next Monday that we might do a show is next fortnight's bank holiday, and if the weather's nice, I won't be here because I shall be on the boat on the Thames
Yeah.
with my.
Well, I think bank holiday might be a miss because uh that's a busy
Aren't you
weekend
arresting
for us.
somebody? You normally
No.
arrest somebody on bank holiday, so I just thought maybe it might be.
Watch out, you might get a knock on the door if I need to do that.
No, I mean I know I have a lot of giggles, and I know I suppose partially because I'm quite outspoken about how bad women's sport is in my eyes, but that's another story. I know people think I'm sexist. I'm not trying to be sexist. It's just the quality is just cack. That's how I look at it. Women's golf, very good. Women's tennis, I can't stand watching tennis if I'm honest, but I know it's quite good. Um, but women at most sports, when I compare them to watching men, it really is hard work. I know the cricket can be quite entertaining every now and then. I'm not saying it isn't. Um, But yeah, let's leave it at the level between the difference between pro men and pro women is a million miles apart, and it will always be that way. I don't care. I'll be long dead before it even gets any closer to closing a gap. But no, it's not the same. Athletics are much better. The gap between women and men in the sprints is quite close. What's the
Yes,
fastest
it's
now the women did in 100 meters?
oh, I
Is
don't
it
know,
11
no
seconds
idea.
now? No,
Something
but
like
that's
that.
the thing. It was about 13, 40, 50 years ago, and the men were
Mm,
about 11. And then the men suddenly all started to get to about 10.2, and the women all, but that gap's closed a lot, a hell of a lot.
yeah.
That's the thing. Women in sport like that, that's really good. That's why I don't have a problem watching it because it's entertaining. When I
Mm.
watch somebody run 100 meters in 15 seconds, like I probably still do, I think, who wants to watch that?
Yeah, well,
It's,
they are getting there. Um, so Breakers are going to be having a women's basketball team.
why don't you apply?
What
You
with
could
my
commentate on
knees?
them as well.
Oh,
No,
commentate.
you
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
commentate
Oh, I thought you
your
meant to
knees.
play.
At 5 foot tall, you're not reaching any hoop, right?
I could be the
No, I mean to do
playmaker. I
commentary.
could do that.
Yeah, you could do the pom pom bit, whatever they do.
Yeah.
No,
No, I would I
but
definitely will be going to commentate. So
yeah.
this the sports deck plan commentating wise this season is going to be focusing on the basketball as opposed to doing both. And purely and simply
So what
because
happened
my
with
Josh,
Newport Pagnell?
I stopped doing that two seasons
Oh,
ago. I did
Dunstable then. Which one is
Dunstable.
it now?
Well,
Dunstable.
no. The problem is Josh is back playing football now, so I want to go and watch him.
Oh right, who's he playing for?
He's playing for a team called Langford.
Langford. They're
Langford.
over the road from me.
Yeah, he's playing for them.
They've got a nice little ground actually.
I don't know. I haven't been to their home. I've seen them.
Oh, it's a nice little ground. It's a
Is
good
it?
pitch. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big pitch. Oh, it's a big pitch.
Okay.
I've refereed over there a few times. Always get looked after very well. The
Yeah.
players who play for Langford are actually pretty. They're normally very respectful to the referee. Can't say that about a lot of teams, but they are.
Yeah. I mean,
One or two
I've
of
met
them
a
are
few
ex
of the
RAF.
I've met a few of the committee members, and they're
Mm.
very nice, very
Yeah,
welcoming,
good
very
bunch.
open,
Definitely
really
good bunch.
friendly.
Yeah, they're a
So
good bunch, Langford.
yeah, so because he's back playing now, obviously last season he wasn't playing because of his ACL, but he's back now, so I want to go watch him. So I'm not going to be commentating on much football this season. I will
So
keep
when
that.
Langford are at home, you have to let
Yeah,
me know because if I'm not refereeing, um, because
you come down.
I've had the all clear from all the problems I've had. God Almighty, it's just.
Good.
So I've had the all clear. I've lost. I know you can't see it sitting here, but I weighed myself. I'm 15.7, and
Oh
I 4
wow.
years ago I was 16.7, 16.8 as an average.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a stone. Now, a lot of it has come from doing stuff in the garden. You do get a bit of this going
yeah.
on, and then you think to yourself, I can see my feet. I haven't seen my feet in years. Um, and But no, but it makes a difference. You feel better about yourself.
Of course you do. Of course you
And my
do.
diet's very different. I have fruit every morning without fail,
Yeah.
and quite a lot of it as well. You know, I've got to that stage. It's really healthy.
Mm.
I'm only doing what the specialist said, so it's not like I'm doing
No, and it's
anything
obviously
daft.
paying off, so that's good.
I still have a small piece of chocolate, obviously, and I'm not going to do the hours at work once I switch to automatic next month. I'm not going to do the hours at work that I was doing because I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
one of the biggest issues is I know it's important to earn money. I get that, and it is. Um, and Lord knows I could do with 10 grand falling out of the sky, but um, if you go to work and it's 5 hours of teaching, say nine in between 9 and 3, because you've got to get from A to B all the time as well. But teaching, and it gets to sort of 3:15, and your mind starts wandering because it's hot and you get tired. You're not concentrating. You've only got to miss something once, and it's a problem. And
Mm.
then but people say, "Oh, come on, I'll do a couple of lessons in the evening." You know, if I'm going on holiday in the summer for 2 or 3 weeks, I don't mind doing a run up in the evening for a couple of days because there's a means to an end. It's
Yeah.
short term, but going out of the weekends. I, I don't mind refereeing, but I don't want to do it every weekend. I don't want to
Mm.
be in that situation where everyone's relying on me to do it.
Mm. No,
I'd
I
rather
get
do
that.
it, enjoy it. I want to spend some time. My daughter's got a row 6 days a week from next month, so she's got a lot on her plate. Plus, she's obviously starting her A levels. So I think I'm 62 in a few weeks. I just think that's it. I've knocked myself out for the last couple of years. I work hard, but not like I was working, maybe 80%. And that's good
Yeah.
enough because, you're supposed to slow down a bit as you get older. Um,
Yeah.
Enjoy life a bit more. And I barely see my friends. It's just ridiculous. I
Yeah.
know they're
Yeah.
busy doing nothing, some of them, because they've already retired.
Lucky them. Well, definitely,
Yeah,
I'll
well, they
let you
made the
know
right
next
choices in
time.
life. I didn't.
Next time they're playing at Langford, I don't know when that'll be, but I'll let you know. So
Hmm.
yeah, so not so much of the football. I'll be doing some matches, like either request matches or important matches and things like that. But because the basketball fits in with Josh's playing, I'm going to be
He
focusing
must
the
be Saturday
commentary.
afternoon, surely.
Yeah, he's 3 o'clock Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
occasionally
my
on a
focus.
Tuesday.
Yeah, he's playing tomorrow actually, tomorrow evening,
Yeah.
but I don't know
Yeah.
where. So
Well, I
yeah,
think they're
so
in the southern. I think they're in the southern.
Spartans, I think, is it?
Yeah, they're in Spartan,
Div
probably
one.
first
Div,
division. Yeah.
yeah, Div one. Um, yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, they seem like Josh says they're a nice little bunch of lads
Yeah.
and that, and he likes the manager. So, basically what he's doing this season, because he's been out for so long with his ACL, he's working a lot on his match
Fitness.
fitness and his
Yeah. Yeah.
match oh, what do you call it? You know, matchability and sort of, decision
It's called
making
playing.
and all that. Huh?
Yeah. It's called playing.
Yeah, well, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Shut
Yeah.
up.
Match fitness, absolutely, but you got to play because if you don't play, you're going to struggle. And he wants to play.
Exactly. He does.
He's
He
in goal,
does. So
isn't he? He's playing in goal, isn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, it's lovely to see him back playing and having a smile on his face. So
Yeah. He's how old is he now? 21.
25,
Is he? Crikey.
25. He was out for 2 years.
Oh yeah, he must be because you're 59 now, aren't you? I
What was that? I just
know.
saw something
I'm
coming
only
in on my
teasing.
screen.
I don't know what that was that came across my screen
I don't
there.
know what that was. um, no, I'm not 59. Thank you very much. I'm 52.
Shh! I know how old you are. You're 10 years
Oh,
younger than me.
okay.
Women aren't supposed to give their age away, but next time you tell someone you're 52, you're blooming liar when I know you're 59. That's terrible.
Do you know, I never understood that. Why do women not like saying their age? I don't mind
No,
saying how old I am.
no. Do you know? I think it was when I was a young kid. It was always you didn't ask a woman her age. The thing is, you've got to remember. And I'm not saying it's indoctrination. I don't think that's quite the word, but it was kind of regarded. I not that I was there in the 50s, but in the 50s the men went to work and the women stayed at home. And it was very rare that a woman had a job unless she was doing a bit of part time something because she had to look after the house. That's basically how it was. And the men went to work, and the women, you didn't see the women because they just stayed at home. They did the cooking, the cleaning, the ironing, the washing. It wasn't the same as it is today, where you put your dishwasher on, you put the washing machine on, and you got 2 or 3 hours while that's all going around. You go, oh, I'll go and do the shopping, and I'll pop in that in the car. They didn't have a car.
Yeah.
The women weren't driving. I mean, a lot of the men had public transport, but men drove and women didn't. So, of course, you look at it, and I'm not being sexist here, it's just how it was. Women didn't learn to drive often until they were 28 or 30 because
Mm.
the men were at work. And then the men would have to look after the kids. They didn't want a smelly baby's nappy every day. They didn't mind once the kids were 5 and 7, so they could sort of do something on their own for an hour while mum went out for a driving lesson. It's changed, and they had to go to the weekends. Normally, the women, of course, so not every instructor worked. Um, but I think that's obviously that's how it was, and things have changed so much. It's just I'm not saying they were repressed because that's not really the word, but they were definitely in a sort of what we have to do. We get married, we have our kids, we look after the house. Husband goes to work.
Mm.
So that's how it was. You
Mm.
know, thankfully, it's not like that anymore.
No, no.
I don't.
But,
I never agreed with it.
well, I mean, I don't mind saying how old I am. I have no problem with it. I am what I am. So,
Yeah, but they didn't say how old they were. You just never asked. If she said to a woman, "How old were you?" She say, "You don't ask a woman how old she is."
well, you can ask me. I'm
Yeah, but we know
59.
how old you are. The whole world knows you're 59, so we don't have to worry about that.
Anyway, we are digressing. We're digressing.
Again,
Right. Cricket. Talk to me about cricket.
well, the 100. I have to tell you something now. I do love my cricket, as you know, but I find it a bit bizarre, if I'm honest with you. So you've got county games going on. Not county matches, not the championship. You've got the 50 over competition going on, whilst the hundreds going on. So let's say, and I'm just using this as an example. So if you play for Middlesex or Surrey, the Middlesex players would play for a team called London Spirit in the 100, and
Mm.
the Surrey ones play for the Oval Invincibles. Okay, but you've got Surrey are playing in the 50 over competition on the same day sometimes in another part of the country, and Middlesex are
Oh,
doing the same thing. So you might have a game in the 50 overs where 5 of the Middlesex players, if they were playing, are playing for London Spirit and they're not playing for Middlesex or vice versa. And
that's
I
odd.
can't look. It's the 2020 is the same. It's like they're finding every way they can to fill out the sort of cricket diary. Now we can. I know we all think of it, but the football's on the TV a lot. Yeah.
Mm.
When the Premier League came on, there were 2 games at the weekend. Now we've got 5 or 6. Every round of matches, there's at least 5 that go to the Premier League, other than the 2 weeks that Amazon gets it. TNT gets 1 game a week usually, maybe 2, maybe. So Sky will do now. They're doing every championship game as well. Sky, so it's a bit overkill, and the cricket's
Mm.
gone the same way. I think they're thinking, well, we don't charge a lot for the 2020, and then we do this 100, and what we'll do with the 100 is we'll do the women's game in the afternoon, and the men's game follows on from the women's game, and you buy a ticket, and you can go whenever you like that day because that's the ticket for the whole day.
Yeah.
But I mean, in fairness, it's only 400 balls, so it's only what 67 overs. It's not so it's less than a normal day's play. Of course it is, but the 2020s, when people go to the 2020, assuming they get a whole game, they get 240 and they get charged about 15 quid to go, I think, unless it's at Lords or the Oval where they charge a lot more because that's how they make their money. I mean, Middlesex are very clever. They're absolutely crap, and I mean crap at 2020. But you go there and they play Surrey, who always beat them. It's 28,000 there, paying £20 each. But they have a pint and a pie for 15 quid. So Middlesex don't get out. They just take in loads of money. Unbelievable money they make.
Yeah.
But the outgrounds, the little places like Worcestershire and Sussex, which is a nice place, but it's a very small ground, they charge a tenner or something and the kids get in for £1.
Mm.
And that's good. That's good, but it's overkill. It's gone the other way again. It's too much. It's like the snooker did a few years ago. There was snooker on every single week. And then all of a sudden, the sponsors stopped because when they banned smoking in 2000, the advertising of smoking, how many of the competitions that were run by in the snooker were sponsored by, Benson and Hedges? The Masters was the Benson and Hedges Masters until 2000,
Yeah.
and we had State Express and 555, and everywhere was cigarettes or some form of advertising through it, and of course, when it stopped, a lot of them said, "Well, we can't afford to pay you £300,000 to have the competition here because we haven't got that kind of money." So a lot of the snooker went off the screen, and you had the World Championships in the UK and the Masters, but apart from that, hardly anything else was on. And now
Yeah.
it's gone the other way again. Now the Chinese have got involved so heavily. They have competitions in China, and they have the Thai Open and the Bangkok, the Chinese Open, and obviously it's the other way around. Everyone wants to sponsor snooker. You've got it with cricket. It gets to the point it's overkill.
Mm. Yeah.
Everyone
No,
jumps on the gravy train, don't they?
yeah, I get that.
Um,
So
you know,
it's not.
I get it, but
Yeah.
the championship is the look. Test cricket is the true test of cricket. That's the simple fact of the matter. Yeah.
Mm.
If I know there are Americans don't understand sports anyway, but no, it's true. They don't. They can't understand how you can have a sport which can go for 5 days and nobody wins. They don't
No,
get
they
that.
wouldn't get that. They wouldn't get that concept at all. They need a winner. They need a winner.
Yeah, but you don't always win.
No, that's
You
true.
can have a test match, and I've seen them, which goes to the fifth day, and at the start of day 5, both teams can win. It could be a draw. It could even be a tie.
Mm.
And sometimes you will get an afternoon of cricket where absolutely everything happens. And if you're watching it live, it is the most unbelievable spectacle because every single member of the fans and the supporters and the crowd are glued to every single thing that's happening. And of course, some are supporting one team, some the other, but there's not that friction that you get in football.
Yeah.
You don't, as much as I'm Middlesex and I can't stand Surrey, it's the same as you don't have. I can sit with a Surrey fan and not have to have a punch up. I'll sit next to a Chelsea fan, and obviously that's a bit different. Spurs fans don't like Chelsea and vice versa. It's much worse. It's more Neanderthal. Whereas
Yeah.
cricket isn't like that. Yeah. And I think when you watch the cricket, you can get incredible games in Test matches. I mean, the best one I've ever seen, sort of edge of the seat, was 2005 when England won at Edgbaston. Incorrectly, may I point out, but they won the Test match when Geraint Jones took a catch, but the batsman wasn't holding the bat with the hand that it hit. He put his
Oh,
hand up like
okay.
that, and it hit the hand that wasn't on the bat, and he was given out. Obviously, they didn't have the thing, and obviously he was out, and he was given out, and England won the game. But that went down to 2 runs, and you wouldn't have given Australia a prayer the night before, not a prayer. So you can't that kind of excitement, and everyone's involved. Every catch dropped, every run that's scored, everything happens. It's an incredible feeling. It really is. You get that sometimes in football matches when it's really exciting, and you get some good games, don't you? You know, when
Yeah.
it's end to end and you can't pick a winner, and it could go either way, and
It can
sometimes it
go.
ends up being a
Yeah.
draw, but it's been a
Yeah.
brilliant game of football. But sometimes you can watch two teams, and it's quite clear that the pair of them haven't got a clue what they're doing. It's going to be 0-0 because they can't shoot on goal, and it's just a bore. And when you get a game
Yeah.
like that, turn it off.
Yeah.
I know it sounds odd, but I've noticed in the last year I've got less and less interested in a lot of things. I've got far more picky and choosy about what I do want to
What
do and
you
what I
do.
don't want to
Yeah.
do.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You know, I'll be honest with you, I didn't see the Olympics not because I didn't want to. I just was working and or building or doing stuff on the house.
Yeah.
I can't imagine I would have done that 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But if you ask me where the Olympics were 4 years ago, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember. Where was it?
4 years ago. No, I
Honestly,
don't
I
know.
can't remember. I
Can't
can't
remember.
remember because
Can't remember.
I don't have the same interest. Ask me where the World Cup was,
Mm,
2022, and I can go give you every World Cup since it started. But that's because I've got more of an interest in it. But if you ask me
yeah.
where the Cricket
Yeah.
World Cup was, I can't remember where the Cricket World Cup was. What was a 60 over competition? Yes, that one I do. But where all the 2020s were and the other one, the international one, no, I don't remember.
No, I would. I haven't got a clue with cricket, unfortunately.
No, but it's the same with the golf. The golf's on four majors every year. We know that we're going to get the Masters is always at the same place, so
Mm,
that one's easy. But the US Open and the US PGA, they're always at different courses. And in England, the rule is, well, not in England, in the UK, the rule is that St Andrews gets it every fifth year. So they got it next year's port. Well, I think it's supposed to be that, but I think for some reason it's back in Ireland and then it's back at St Andrews. Maybe they were doing it, but I think it's every 5 years it's supposed to be at St Andrews. So
okay.
that's the home of golf. So I get that,
Right. So there wasn't
but
there some sort of golf thing going on
there was
recently?
golf in the Olympics. I know there was, and I know that
No, no, not in the Olympics. Uh, I don't know. Was it
there
Scotland?
was golf in the Olympics. Fleetwood
Oh yeah,
finished
yeah, yeah.
second.
Who?
Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay. No, wasn't there another golf tournament on recently?
The Open.
I don't know. I think it was in
The Open was
Scotland,
on
was
in
it?
July. The Open was in July. That was
Okay.
um that was on about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's probably the one I'm
Did you
talking
not
about.
know that?
No.
Right. And then after they had the Open, which finished, I think, on the 20 on the Sunday, would have been the 20th. My daughter's birthday. It would have been the 20th, and then they had the Olympics. When I mean, they would have started at the Olympics the week after, I should imagine. I don't. Again, it's like the football. They've had football at the Olympics in the past. Did they have rugby at the Olympics?
No. Oh, no, no, they did, yeah. But it's rugby sevens.
At the Olympics?
Yeah, rugby
Right.
sevens.
Okay. So for me, the Olympics is supposed to be non-professional,
Yeah. Well, that's not
but all
right
the golfers
because
who play are all professionals.
all the tennis players, you had Djokovic, you have Andy
Professional.
Murray, you
All the
had
basketball players, professional. Yeah.
yeah,
So the Olympics was supposed to be an amateur sport.
yeah.
The
Do you know, I
boxers,
asked exactly the same question of my husband like a few weeks ago, and I said, I don't understand it. What it was meant to be for amateurs, it's not a professional thing.
yeah.
He said,
Well,
yeah, he said,
that's the thing. That's exactly the thing. So that's my point. All the
mm,
boxers, I mean, I can remember years ago the boxers that used to box because we didn't have women's boxing obviously until fairly recently. But 40 years ago, when they had the boxers, you turned pro if you won the Olympics, you were sort of regarded as one of the better boxers, and you often turned pro
Yeah,
because it was
yeah,
an amateur sport.
yeah.
Um, I, I mean, I know that there was a heavyweight boxer called Teofilio Stevenson from Cuba, and he won the boxing title, I think, twice in the Olympics, gold, and he never turned pro. I don't know why. Maybe he didn't want to, but normally they do.
Mm.
So I thought it was amateur, and obviously when you think about it, you look at some of these athletes and they pay them 100 grand to come and run at the meeting that they have. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, look
Is
at the
Simone
men's
Biles?
US
Is
basketball
she
team, LeBron James and all of them. There's nothing
yeah,
amateur
but the
about it.
USA's dream team, whatever it was, about 30 years ago, had Michael
Yeah.
Jordan and Scottie Pippen in it from the Bulls, and
Hmm.
they won every game easily because they're representing the USA, but they're the best basketball players in the world anyway, and they've got the and their team that was it 92 or something in
Oh my God.
1992.
Yeah.
They had Magic Johnson was in it and Larry Bird. I mean that blooming team was better than the Harlem Globetrotters ever is. So how could they ever lose? It would be like Man City going to play in the Olympics and they're playing against Langford. You know,
I
what
know.
chance has
It's
Langford
ridiculous.
got? It's
Yeah,
just not
it
right.
is. Yeah. No, I totally
So,
agree. Um,
but more
but
importantly, the Premier League's back on this week.
yes, yes. Back on. Who's first up
Friday,
this Friday? And who's playing Friday?
Manure.
Huh?
They're playing against Fulham.
Manure.
Yeah, Man United. They're called Manure.
Oh, Man United. Okay. I'm joking with you.
Well, they
So,
are
go on.
Manure, and they can.
What are your I'm asking now before the season
I know. I
starts.
knew you were going to say that.
Predictions.
Do you know what? So it made me laugh because if you remember in January, this January, I said to you, I think Arsenal are going to win the league. Do you remember?
Yes. Yes, you did.
And I said it to you, hoping they would fail, of course. And when I listened to all the Arsenal fans blaming Spurs for them not winning the league, they forgot that they didn't get a point of Aston Villa. So it's not our fault, is it?
No, you can't blame
They
somebody
stopped
else for not
Spurs
winning the
getting
league.
they stopped Spurs getting fourth by not getting a point of Aston Villa. So
Mm.
that's how I look at it. Anyway, I said it because I honestly thought at the time, and I still stand by this. Arsenal played better football than Man City did last season.
Okay.
No question, no doubt in my mind, they were the better team. They're harder to score against than Man City. Not saying that because Spurs didn't score against them at home. When we played them at home, they had a goal that was offside to start with and a penalty that was a penalty. But if you don't get the first goal, the pressure was on them. It might have been a different result. You don't know. But
Mm.
I thought Arsenal were the better side last season. So this year, I had a free £10 bet from Betfair, but it had to be placed on the Premier League. So this
Okay.
afternoon, I put £10 on Arsenal to win the league. Now, I know I've
Wow.
probably, yeah, but I had to put it on. It's a free bet. So I
Okay.
put it on Arsenal because realistically, I can't see Spurs win the league. There's no way Chelsea are winning the league because they haven't got a bus big enough to get all their players to the game. So they'll have to leave a few of them off. Man United aren't going to win the league, even though they signed De Ligt, who I think is a good player. But if he couldn't get in the Bayern Munich team because Eric Dyer kept him out, I'm wondering how good he is at the moment.
Mm.
So you're going to have it between City and Arsenal. But here's the thing: Man City are going to be found guilty in the next 2.5 months. That there's no doubt. Absolutely. 68 of the charges they're already guilty of. So with that in mind, um, there's going to come a point where it must affect the club. I can't see how it won't. If you're sitting there thinking once you've been found guilty, even if you fight it and you get 2 more months to go back to court and it still gets told that you're going to get points deduction, it has to take part of it out of your mentality. It's got to be like, don't fall asleep again. It's got to take your mentality. Has to be, oh well, we're doing this, but we can't win anything anyway.
Mm.
So I think Arsenal got a massive advantage this year. I really do think that they signed I know they're still missing what I would call a top drawer centre forward, but they signed. I like that Calafiori. That
Cucurella.
I think who?
Is it Cucurella? What's his name?
Oh, he's at Chelsea. They signed
The Italian
Calafiori, though. Yeah,
Calafiore, that's him. I
Cucurella
knew it
is
began with
Spanish. Will you wake
I
up
knew it
from which
began with a
country you're in again,
C.
literally?
I knew
Anyway,
it began with a
Cucurella is
C.
Spanish.
Okay.
Calafiori's from Italy, and I
Calafiore,
liked
that's
him.
it.
I thought he looked the best Italian defender in the World Cup.
He's a good defender.
Um,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
solid and he's
he is.
still quite young.
Yes, and Arsenal, I thought last year, I know Spurs put four past them, but I thought Arsenal were quite good defensively, especially the second half of the season. Um, Obviously, Champions League will have an effect
Hmm.
um, because the way the fixtures are. I was looking at this the other day. 8 fixtures have got to be played in 12 weeks, and the 4 weeks that they're not playing, more than likely, 2 of those weeks they're playing in the League Cup. So
Right.
there's virtually every week a midweek game for Arsenal, and it's different from when you don't have that pressure on you. People are now expecting Arsenal to win something this year. Whereas last year it was a bit, well, we might, and the year before was that it was hope. This
Yeah.
year, people go, well, I think we should win something this year. And I think that that's in itself a different mentality. Um, I think if you're a Man City fan, like it or not, you have to expect the worst. I can't see how they're not going to get. I think they'll get relegated. If I'm honest, I can't see how they won't be. It's too many. It's
Yeah.
too many things. If it was one thing, I mean, Everton are going to get done again after what they've just agreed. They're going to get another
Mm.
points deduction next week or the week after. So are Leicester. They're going to get done before the start of the season as well, or by the end of the month, because they broke the rules already last year, so they get their deduction this year. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so you know, uh, it's psychological. If you're Everton, I know I'll upset people. I mean, I always used to say Everton were the benchmark. If you went and won at Goodison, it was a good result. But Everton lately have been hovering in the bottom six quite often, and
They didn't
they're
have a great season at all
a
last
bit of a
season.
schmozzle of a. It's a bit of a cobbled team all the time with them. Um, but the thing is, the gap between the worst Premier League sides and the teams coming up is so massive. I mean, Ipswich have got they haven't got a prayer, not a prayer.
Yeah.
They'll do well to get 25 points, Ipswich.
They'll probably
Seriously.
do a Luton. Or they'll probably do less than Luton.
Yeah, no, they'll because they were in the League One 2 years ago. You
Yeah.
just can't compete at this level. It's not. They're going to get found out very very quickly, and once you start getting hammered 4-5 week in week out, it just becomes impossible. And it doesn't matter who's
Mm.
in charge. You can have Pep Guardiola in charge; they're still going down. Southampton, I've always liked them. They'll struggle. Leicester will get points deduction. They'll struggle. Forest will struggle. I think Everton will still be in the bottom 6 or 7. Brentford will struggle because I don't think Tony really wants to be there. So that's your bottom 6. I think you've kind of nailed that on. Wolves and Palace, and they'll be about mid-table, bottom second half of mid-table, and then you've got Villa won't be in the top 4. You've only got 6 sides that can be in the top 4 this year, and Villa aren't one of them, nor Newcastle. Um, but I think Arsenal could win it. But we'll see at Christmas time when
We'll
because
see.
we always do
Yeah,
it
like
at
you say, they
Christmas
do need
time.
a good centre forward because, that's where they really lacked last season. And we haven't heard
Well,
any rumours or anything, on the cards for them getting one.
don't see it happening. Um, there's always paper talk, and you hear so and so said this and so said that, and I listen to some of it. I think there's no way. But Spurs were linked
Mm,
with what's his face Gallagher all summer. Spurs never made a bid for Gallagher, never
yeah,
once, and they wouldn't
yeah,
have because Chelsea don't like doing business with Spurs, and Gallagher's really doesn't want to play for Spurs. So why would you bid for a bloke who's got no interest in playing for you?
mm,
You know, Arsenal
yeah.
trying to get rid of Nketiah. I think I don't know whether that deal's been done yet. Um, But Havertz did all right last year, but I don't think he's a particularly good striker. So
Yeah, it is. He's a bit. He's not
Jesus
consistent.
gets
He's
him
quite hit
injured.
and miss. Mm,
Yes, and I know it's easy. I'm not laughing at it. I mean, Spurs have laid out a lot of money on Solanke. Um, do I think it's a good buy? Well, I'm not surprised at the amount of money it's cost. But he's had one good season in a poor side at Bournemouth.
mm,
Will he get more chances at Tottenham? Absolutely, no question.
yeah.
Um, is he in a better team? Absolutely, no question. But is he at a good age? Yeah, I think so. 26 is good. He's fit and young, and he is a striker rather than anything else.
Mm,
Um, but there's expectation on him. He didn't have that before,
yeah.
so
Bit of
that's
pressure
that's
now.
got.
Mm,
Yep, that's going to help. Obviously, if he scores a goal next week at Leicester, that would help him immensely. Get on the score sheet early, you get off and running. It
mm,
makes life a lot easier for yourself. But um, he could become an instant hero in September. Beat Arsenal, score a couple of goals, instant hero. You never know. Like Kane did every game he played against Arsenal, he scored.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
um,
We'll have to see.
yeah, we're not strong
Well,
enough. We're still 2 or 3 short.
well, our next show will be about 4 weeks into the Premier League, so that'll give us a good idea.
When did you
Where we
want to do
kind of
it?
stand. So 2 weeks after the bank holiday.
So that's the 9th of September.
Yeah, just checking
Hmm.
my rota because that's what we scheduled it for, wasn't it?
I can't remember because obviously we've had a bit of a hit and miss lately, which is not your fault. I mean, obviously the one of the nights when
Yeah,
you,
so the
you're going to
9th of
help
September.
save someone's life. That's a bit more important than doing the podcast, isn't it?
Well, yeah, 9th
Hmm.
of September was the one after the bank holiday.
Good, because if my shed arrives on the 2nd, I'm hoping I can get on with it that week.
Well, we've come to the hour. We've covered quite a lot, actually, considering. And we will have so much more to talk about next show in 4 weeks' time because there'll be a lot of Premier League updates to talk about, I'm sure. And we will keep everybody posted. The Paralympics will have started, so I won't get to watch as much, but yeah,
The
I'll
cricket
still.
season will be coming to a close in the Championship, and that
There you
Middlesex,
go.
Sussex, and Yorkshire are trying to get promoted, so it should be quite good
Okay,
from
so
Division
lots to
Two.
talk about next show, and hopefully we'll do a full show, a proper 90 minutes, because there'll be so much more to talk
Plus
about.
injury time.
Plus injury time. Okay, so for
Yeah, I
listen, you
might have
enjoy the
left
rest
read
of
the game
your.
by then because I haven't had one for a few weeks. But I couldn't have done the last couple anyway. My sister was 60 yesterday, and my
Oh,
little
yeah.
brother was 60 on Saturday. So
Oh,
I've
happy
been,
birthday to them.
yeah, that was great to go to 2 birthday parties at the weekend, which is do something different. Uh,
Yep,
thankfully.
there you go.
Um,
While you can.
yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
so hopefully it won't be as hot when we next have our show because I'm
No,
telling
it
you
may
now, I've lost
not.
about 3 stone
Yeah.
sitting here. Uh,
It'll be September, so it will have cooled down a little bit.
yeah.
So we'll keep everybody posted. Watch out on socials for any updates. And other than that, everybody else have a great month. Month.
Yeah.
And see,
And the kids
I
will be
shall.
back at school.
Yes. It means less people down the city centre, so I can actually shop
Fewer,
properly.
fewer people, fewer. God,
Less
I'm not
people.
even English. I'll tell you, my English is better than everyone else. Right. Yeah, fewer people. And yes, you're
Yes,
right. And you'll be able to go shopping at Milton Keynes and do 2 trolleys instead of one.
without having to walk
Um,
with me elbows out. Exactly.
yeah. Right. Take
Oh,
care. Have a nice time when you're off and good luck with work.
and
I
you.
know it's important,
Thank you.
obviously. So
We'll speak to you soon.
speak to you soon. Yeah. God bless. Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.